Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the greatest podcast known to man. The podcast about the podcast, people who like podcasts and hip hop and SEC football, and I guess Big Ten football, because we got to keep it diversified somewhat, but whatever. You are now tuned into What's Good America. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the chocolate Adonis himself, the pseudo-sexual, the number 2 ranked team in the nation, justifiably so. I am the Turner, ladies and gentlemen, and I spent a little bit of money so I can do shit like this. This is what happens when you give black folks money and they got a little bit of time on their hands. But we're here with What's Good America. We got a full house in this bitch tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start off first correctly with the greatest indoor wide receiver known to man. Your favorite quarterback's favorite receiver, Mr. My Hand Goes Up, 6 points go up. James, Big Game, Madison, Walton III. What's going on, baby?
Hey, what's good, America? Hey, listen. This is going to be quick. You see it. This is what we tried to get done yesterday. We got it done today. I'm excited. This is it. I mean, I wish, I was like a Oregon fan or something. This would be really dope. But, you see the names. This is where we're at in life right now. And I'm good with it. That's all I got to say about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna introduce my guy. I mean, he's repping my conference. You see him over there.
Yeah.
That's my dog. He's wearing his colors tonight, fair and square. That did not deserve buzzers. You know better than that.
That must have been for Jim Harbaugh, what we did to the Michigan boys. Doing possum hunting.
He really needs no introduction, man. But, he's your favorite DN's favorite DN. You know what I'm saying? This is my guy right here. The Python's what of this show. Hall of Famer in my book. His time will come. Michael Baisman, welcome back.
Throw the sweatshirt off.
Oh, man.
And then,
he had to get right. He had to go get right.
Absolutely. You want to introduce the pride of Georgia right now?
I'm going to introduce Georgia's favorite son, the father of my favorite child of his. Once again, I don't like Aiden that much, but his oldest daughter I love the most. Like his other kids suck, but his oldest daughter is amazing. Just to be honest with you, fucking kids. But the greatest baseball coach in the state of Montana, the Doghouse CEO, Upper Deck Baseball, the greatest coach right now in Montana, Anton Bulldog Grill. What's going on, big dog?
What's happening, fellas? What's happening? Enjoying the number 1 spot. That's all.
Hey, we here. So let's just get right into it. You know what I'm saying? We got DJ CT on the 1s and 2s with the sound effects, so he's having a ball. But Baze, I'm kicking it right over to you. We had a great show, in my opinion. Getting a chance to talk to Anton about what we've seen out of Georgia. And I mean, just to kick it to you, that's one of the best college football games I've seen in the last 10 years, was that game Saturday. Because I know you and I were watching. I was watching. I know you were at work. I was just kind of texting you because I just assumed you were watching. But of course, you're the AD. When duty calls, you got to go, man. But did you get a chance to kind of watch the second half?
I watched the highlights. I got the highlights. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's your takeaway from what you saw from your team, man, and the fact that you guys are, in my opinion, rightfully getting the respect you deserve at this point with the rankings?
It's crazy. Every week I'm more impressed, but then I'm also like I'm expecting us to perform the way we do. I know we got some weakness on the outside with our cornerbacks, but they make plays when they need to make plays. Offensively, I think they've done a great job of, number 1, going for the home run. Like there's been a lot of games where they just look here, we're going flea flicker, bombs away. We got receivers on the outside that can, extend the field, stretch the defense. And then when you got a home run hitter like K9, I think K9 may be the first home run hitter we've had at running back to that caliber in in a long time. We've had some great running backs come through there, but like homer hitter the way he is, I'm thinking back. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Walt. I don't know if we had a homer hitter like to that caliber.
The only guy I've ever seen in my time of watching Michigan State was Seth Irvin. And Seth was that deal.
Yeah.
Seth was the real deal.
Unless you go back to Zoe White, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously Zoe White in the 80s, is really, really good run there. I mean, because I think he's still you guys' all-time leading rusher at this point. But Seth Irvin was one of those guys, and I know Turner would be all over that because Seth's a Miami dude. So that's Florida all day. But I mean, to me, I think the one thing that does make me nervous, but I was impressed with how he hung in there. I think Thorne can get you guys there. And for me, if there's a little stake in that because he's a Chicago kid. So to me, it's like, listen, if I'm going to have to latch on to this green and white, which is looking like I'm going to have to do, because if I got to choose between y'all, Ohio State, and Penn State, I'm going to go Michigan State. I hate the least. Let's just call it what it is. Like
when Thorne is on, he's on.
Yeah. So I think you're complete enough to get it. I think you're complete enough to get there. You know, obviously this is your real schedule. You've always known that. You've played it. You know, these back three games is always what decides the Big Ten, especially now that there's division. So really to me, the hell of a game. I was impressed by both teams, in my opinion. I thought it was great football. I think Jim Harbaugh conversation is going to be for another day because we got to see how this plays out this year. But to his credit, I don't think for the first time I've watched in a long time, I can't put that on him, except for the fact of switching the quarterbacks. That's about the only thing I didn't understand. Because 12, forget his name because they kept rotating him. He was shredding.
12 is McNamara.
McNamara was shredding.
Yeah, I don't know number 9's name, and I watched the first half, and I mean, I was nervous that they were going to. Well, it was interesting because they haven't needed to throw the ball in our first 7 contests, so they've been running. They got 2 running backs that are really good, and I was like, well, if they try to do that, they're playing into our hands because our strength is our run defense, and so. When they came out throwing that thing, I was like, ugh, you're going to have to do something to, match this firepower or, get some turnovers or something because that's just not our strong suit. But, oh, my goodness. We're not going to talk about the fool's gold that Alabama is, and they're just trying to give them a path to the playoffs just so they can make some money. And they don't want to give Cincinnati a true chance, ranking them 6.
Let's just get right into it. I mean,
don't get me started on Georgia.
Let's just get into
Georgia
it. I mean,
let me just set it off.
I'm shooting at everybody.
Let's just be real. If it wasn't for Nick Saban, the top 4 wouldn't be here right now. Let's just call it what it is. Like, it's full of Saban. I'm David Ruffin, and these are the Temptations. Like, it's Saban and the Temptation. If it wasn't for Saban, I will repeat what I said last night. We broke Michigan State in half, crumbled, decimated the whole university. We did worse to Michigan State than what that doctor did to Michigan State. We embarrassed you on national TV. Yeah, we got canceled on that one. Anyway.
America, I don't know what he's trying to approach with that.
I need you to apologize to me right now. Are you kidding me right now? Yeah. Did you just say what you said?
He is and we vehemently disagree with that statement.
Yeah, the opinions of What's Good America and James Walton and Mike Bazemore and Anton Greer, Upper Deck Baseball. Montana State Billings do not agree with that. I'm gonna need you to apologize immediately because,
you didn't went too far with that.
You went way too far with that one.
Everyone who was victimized by what happened from that doctor whose name we won't say, I do apologize for that statement.
That's bad.
I stand by the fact that we broke Michigan State into the rebuilding, reformation period that they were in, because you really thought you had a shot, and then you got stiff armed the hell on national TV, and we broke you in half. You down there in the corner, because you in my computer, you down there in the corner. We ran Marguerite out of town repeatedly, like it didn't stand a chance. So we ran him smooth out of town, outside of him choking on his own foot and his ass year after year after year. We broke y'all too. And then whoever the fourth saving assistant is, not even notable.
Well,
So
that's Mario Cristobal up there in Oregon. That's Miami ties. So the fact you would even do that to your own state, shame on you. Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate here because I'm the one guy without a horse in this race. This is why this is such a great situation for me. I'm gonna ask the number 1 and the number 3 seeds their opinions. Is Alabama deserving of their number 2 ranking right now? You can put as many sound effects on as you want. We already know I can talk over all that shit. That's what I want to know. How do you guys feel? I start with you, Anton. I mean, obviously it's a SEC, cohort and things like that. But do you feel that a one-loss team like that, the loss that they took, deserves to be right behind you?
Yes. And here's why. Because Cincinnati will take that same loss. Michigan State will take the same loss. And any of the 4, 5, 6 come into the SEC, they're taking those losses. And that's just the way it goes.
So are we talking in terms of
that was good.
Go ahead.
Well, in terms of matchups, I haven't actually. I only watched like a couple of Alabama games here and there, so I got to look into the matchups. I don't think Cincinnati. I want them to get in. Just the fact that they will earn it if they go undefeated. I think they deserve to be in the playoff. But yeah, if they match up against Georgia or Alabama, and I think both will be in because Georgia will probably run the table. Even if they lose the Bama and the Chipper, they'll be a 4th seed or a 3 seed, and then they'll have Bama at the 1 seed. So Cincinnati will be a 4th at the highest, I think. So
but at the end of the day, do you feel like Alabama should be ranked number 2 with the loss?
I don't think that they should be ranked number 2. I'm saying that the way it's going to play out, the SEC is going to have 2 teams in, and because they play each other in a championship, doesn't matter who wins that game. In terms of, well, I guess your seating wise, it matters in terms of how they're going to be in a playoff. Because I think they'll both get in, depending they'll win all their games, and then whoever wins. Well, I guess if Bama loses against Georgia, then that'll knock them out. But I think Bama will beat Georgia, and then Georgia will have to, prove themselves in the playoff. This is Georgia.
I want some Georgia, Michigan State be taken because y'all the new Notre Dame, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow.
He did say that. He didn't say it to your face. He said he would say that to your face.
Never. We are way.
Y'all the new Notre Dame.
No, we actually battled. We played and beat Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, and then sneaky Iowa, Wisconsin. So no, we earned our rights now. Notre Dame, get a lot of fanfare to get them in these playoffs. Now we earned our respect.
And y'all gonna get that just like Notre Dame did, though.
To defend Bays.
No, Notre Dame really don't be playing nobody like that.
To defend Bays, as much as I hate to do it, but Notre Dame doesn't even play Michigan State anymore. They actually got rid of the game because Michigan State was beating them up so bad. They don't even play. They used to play each other every year. And Michigan State took that over. They took that.
Castle Rock playing.
That's the truth. I know that because I'm in the Big Ten. I just know that, Anton. Notre Dame actually took Michigan State off the schedule because Michigan State was beating up on them so bad. And then, of course, Northwestern would beat Michigan State, so it would make that loss look worse. So
Why you got to throw that part in?
I had to do a little bit there. It's all I got. All I got is old stuff, which brings me to my point of Anton. I should have known better. You on too much of a Georgia high right now to really even have any type of real opinion on this. Chris Turner
doesn't care about anybody that's behind him.
You know better. Baze, I'm gonna just revamp what we talked about last night. Hold on. I got the floor. Number two. You're not. You should not be the number 2 seed. Like period. Right now.
I agree.
Do I say that you can't play your way into it? You know, you're gonna have Auburn. You're gonna have to deal. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, these are still rivalry games. This is still the SEC, and Alabama has shown if there's any type of rivalry, they can be tested. So you still got to deal with LSU. At the end of the day, it's shambles, but they still got athletes over there at the end of the day. And you got to deal with Auburn. And I don't know if that game is in Tuscaloosa or if it's in Auburn. Is it in Auburn?
Jordan here, yeah.
So that's not an easy out. We're not talking about Mac Jones coming in there with the best wide receiver statistically to ever do it, statistically, and going down there. We talking about Bryce Love, who was very good, with a bunch of guys. And one superstar, Williams, that just isn't quite there yet.
Ain't quite curl all the way.
Yeah, he's like Luther's curl. It ain't really, but next year, he's going to be a problem.
So I'll admit right now, no, we should not be number 2.
That's all I want you to say. That's it. Just say no. Take where you should be. I'll give you the 4.
No. We're 3. You got to put us in front of Oregon. Like you have to. Like the lost Oregon, you have to put us.
If you want to do this the right way, this is really the way it should look. Georgia won fair and square because, Baze, I'll say this to you. Ain't nobody beating Georgia. Like it's a wrap.
Georgia's gonna beat themselves like they always do. Georgia's gonna do it.
Not this year. Not this year.
That's
a different animal.
Just like the fact you guys are 8-0. It's a different animal. You guys are different. You guys have a chance to win that first game. It's different.
I love it. You guys are so great.
So we got Georgia won. Michigan State, in my opinion, is the second best team in the country based on what they've done.
I agree.
Now, I'm going to use Baze's argument to really shit all over you. Based on what Baze said, Oklahoma should be the 3 seed in this thing. Period. They haven't lost. I don't care how ugly those wins are. They 9-0. That means they have the best record in the country. And then Cincinnati should be 4th. If you want to do this the way that it should be done. And then I'll give you Alabama at 5. And Oregon shouldn't even be in this conversation. You know what? I take that back. Wake Forest should be 5. So you know what? Actually, Cincinnati, if you want to do it right, should be 5th. Wake Forest is undefeated.
So who you
That's
play doesn't
really how this should look. Alabama shouldn't even be in the conversation with that terrible ass loss.
In your ranking, who you play doesn't matter then.
In my ranking, if you are undefeated at this point, you deserve the right to be in the conversation. You need to play yourself out of it.
The fact that Cincinnati has played Billings West 9 times in a row, they should be ranked number 3.
Last I checked, they get 85 scholarships just like Alabama does. What's your point? See, you got to stop doing that shit. You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem.
They play Tulane.
I don't care. How many scholarships did Tulane get?
Shit, if I know, I barely knew they were D1.
Well, let me explain it to you, Mr. Booster. Every Division 1A program gets 85 scholarships.
I only worry about my scholarship and the check that came with it.
Yeah, and then you know what? I ain't gonna do you like that. I'm gonna leave you alone, even though you said them things you said about poor Simone. I mean, how could you trash Simone the first 2 minutes of the show? Simone is.
I was trying to hurt Baze. I'm sorry.
I don't know if it hurt him. I just made him kind of smirk at you and go like, "This is the reason why you know you're not even number 2 seed." So I just want to get that out the way. But I want to really get to the crux of what I want to talk about. We've got a Jordan Davis supporter and believer that he is the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. We have in this other corner, Kenneth Walker IV, who offensively has been the best player in the country as of now. Nobody's been close to him. You can count the Mississippi kid, but I think they got their butts beat this weekend. So he's out.
Right
I don't
now.
care how many touchdowns you throw for him. Once or two losses to SEC, you're out. So I want to do this kind of the way me and Chris Turner did our presidential debate. I would like to see who would like to go first to defend their Heisman Trophy winner on this show.
Let him go. I'm gonna let.
You got it.
Listen, top seed will sit back and wait.
Ooh, it's like razor blades and lemon juice right now. He's just slicing y'all like a little bit at a time because he knows they ain't going. He knows they in.
Hold on for a second. Let me just, as the Georgia Vice President.
What are we talking about? Stats or are we talking about personal stats or what? What are we doing here?
Well, what the argument is, and I think it's a good argument. Anton's arguing the best player on their team, and the reason why they are, is Jordan Davis, the big D tackle. Like he is that much of a problem. Like he's Ndamukong Suh type, when Ndamukong Suh probably should have won that Heisman that year, but Nebraska had 3 losses, and that's why he didn't win it.
Hey, cry me a river on being one of the best defensive players in the league and not getting your flowers.
Hey, I did not mean to open up that wound. That was not the point. I was just trying. I was just trying to. I was just trying to explain why he feels Jordan Davis is that guy. This is the closest we've had for a D line has been since Suh, and Suh actually went to New York. Now we've got you, Kenneth Walker, who has been the best offensive player in the country. He has been. Nobody's touched him. It's not even close. And then he had 5 touchdowns for the world to see in a 7-0 matchup. And he won that game by himself. I think they scored 38 points. He had 35 of them by himself.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying.
He had about two bills on the ground. I would say this. From what I understand, I've only seen, bits and pieces of Georgia, so I haven't watched the full game. Jay, my fiance, she's watched the game. She said their D-line is real. And what I understand is that they rotate their D-line, if I'm not mistaken. So just by definition of being a rotational player within that front is probably going to disqualify you from actually winning the Heisman. What I love for another defensive player to win the Heisman, a defensive lineman at that, absolutely. That'll be the first defensive player to win since Charles Woodson.
Oh yeah.
And so I would love that. But even Woodson had to have some kind of offensive production. You got to have some kind of touchdowns to add to your stats. If you don't have that, then you're not going to win a Heisman. So I would say when you look at a team and their worth, K9 is our most valuable player. And you look at how he produces on the ground, even when a play is broken, he can make magic happen. And so that kind of caliber of player is a Heisman-worthy candidate. He puts up, he's good for, at a minimum, 3 touchdowns a game. Yeah, now if you stack the box, now you open it up to our receivers and we going over your head. Now, if our quarterback's going to hit him, that's going to be determined upon how we feel on that day. But we have the speed on the outside to beat you at the top. So you got to respect one or the other.
Allow me to Kamala Harris this real quick. And I hate the fact that I have to defend Georgia, but at the same time, I am a defensive lineman till they bury me. And Bays, I am disgusted the fact that I get it, that's your alma mater and everything, but the fact that you are defending a quarterback right now is atrocious and disgusting all by itself.
Running back. As a running back, I'm not defending the quarterback.
Oh, I hate Michigan State that much. I don't even care. So the man is 6'6", 330 is what they have him down as. So that means he's probably closer to 350.
6'6", 340.
Oh, so he's definitely 350 then. He ran literally 20 miles an hour to chase down a toss. Now I get it, that's one play, but as a nose guard in the SEC, which you are facing double teams every play, and because of his size, he has to face a triple team because they're leaving in both guards for him. For him to be sitting right now with about 25 tackles is, I think, the last time I checked. 25 tackles, of which 11 are tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and then 2 blocked field goals. Where's he at?
Now, I just want you to keep going. I've actually got everything pulled up because Anton has earned the right to defend his guy. This is a reason. This is why we're doing it. It's opinionated. But I went to go look because I had to go see before you started arguing what you was going to argue. Keep going, Chris. Your stats are already off. Yeah,
they're off by a lot. You're putting a little bit of sauce on them stats there, sir.
It's off.
All of them.
And I would time out. Yes, he's probably one of the best players on our team and an undefeated team, but he's not the best defensive lineman that we've seen in our lifetime. If Julius Peppers ain't won the Heisman, then cry me a river. Like,
to be honest with you, he's not even the greatest D lineman in Georgia history because I would go with Seymour Stroud.
What are we talking about here?
That's just me.
Hey, he is the number one. He's the number one seed in the country. He feels like Jordan Davis is the reason they go. He has a right to argue it.
Well, he is the number one reason because you can't. The linebackers, N'Kobe Dean, his success is directly tied to Jordan Davis. Everybody on that defense's success is tied to that man. They look at the stats on how many missed field goals have been because of him and the other 2 linemen with it, but mainly him. So I get it. The man don't score touchdowns. He's 6'6", 340. He ain't supposed to score touchdowns. But he is a nightmare to any offensive line out there. You can't block it. He's different than Clowney. Clowney was coming from the outside. This man coming straight up the middle at your ass and then chase you all the way to the sidelines and hunt you down. 6'6", 340, running 20 miles an hour down and around to catch your ass on the sidelines. He was running down good quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm with that. I mean, if anybody knows what a great set of D linemen can do for you, it's your boy. I promise you that. But I'm just going to tell you right now, 20 total tackles, 3.5 tackles, and 2 sacks. Ain't going to do it.
But you got to look at the film. How many times is he double and triple team?
I'm just telling you.
When you take up 3 players on a line yourself.
I get that. See, you're talking about football impact. I'm not denying that. I get that. I'm talking about comparing him, and I'm just trying to find guys that have even compared and been in it out. Here's the prime example. I'm going to read you a stat line. All right. In 14 games, this guy had 52 solo tackles. He had 20 tackles for loss. He had 12 sacks. He had interceptions. That's a Ndamukong Suh's line his senior year when he was 4th in the Heisman. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I get his impact. You're number one team in the country. I'm with that. But it's like Bay said, and I hate to bring up old shit when it comes to him, because he's been on the bad end of that. Where the guy literally led everything and ends up not even getting anything for it. I wish I could find Warren Sapp. I can't find it.
Pull up Pepper's stats, because Peppers was wrecking. He was wrecking the league. Peppers was vicious. He was vicious.
I'm gonna try to find Julius Peppers as well.
Well, here's the thing. Let me. While you're looking for that, let me tell you what I got. The closest thing I can figure in recent history to what he's doing right now, and I'm not even trying to make this a homer thing, but it's Terrence Cody. And mind you, this kid at Georgia is built completely different than how Cody was built. Like the kid at Georgia is like actually like he's a massive man. But the fact that he's that size and you have to adjust your offensive line to him off his size alone. Now, Cody's stats at the height of Cody's game, Cody had 28 tackles and then 2 sacks. That's now granted, Jordan Davis will do more than that. Cody was a lazy bastard that honestly lived off of the success of everybody else. The other hand, Jordan makes the success for everybody else. Cody ate because everybody else ate. This kid at Georgia feeds everybody else. Like easily like he sets the table for everybody else because you have to pay so much attention to him that you have to game plan around a nose guard, which is ridiculous. Like I'm proud of it, don't get me wrong, but like it's ridiculous that you have to game plan a nose guard.
Yeah, and I'm with that. But this is me. The reason why I can't find Peppers, Bays, but the reason why I wouldn't put Peppers in this conversation is because Peppers played outside. I mean, he would go inside, but he played outside.
Right.
We're talking pure interior lineman. The best that we've all seen in our lifetimes at the college level was Ndamukong Suh when he was at Nebraska, and I read his stat line. I found Warren Sapp's in 1994. This is what Warren Sapp did his last year in college. Warren Sapp had 84 total tackles, 12 and a half for tackle loss. He had 10 and a half sacks, and he had 2 forced fumbles and 2 fumble recoveries. And he finished 6th. And that Miami team played for the national championship and lost to Tommy Frazier. So I'm telling you, Anton, I don't deny his impact because I've seen what him and the other kid, who honestly is probably the better player. He probably is the better player. And he's going to probably transition better than Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is going to be really good. That kid is slippery like Aaron Donald's slippery. There's another one. You're telling me Jordan Davis is better. I forgot about Aaron Donald. How dare I forget about Aaron Donald, how good Aaron Donald was.
You're a receiver. We don't expect anything out of you.
So that's all I'm saying about the Heisman thing. I don't think he can win the Heisman. He might be the most valuable player in the defense. I'm not going to deny that. If you watch every snap of that game, I've watched him play 3 or 4 times this year. That I'm not taking away. But the Heisman Trophy is a combination of those things. We've seen that award go to people that haven't deserved it, a la Eric Crouch. I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
You're right about it. You know, I'm still bitter about Eric Crouch winning that thing. I have not let that go for a long time. And the fact that they played the national title game, I'm still upset about it. I'm so glad they got their ass whooped.
I don't think either one of them are going to win the Heisman.
Kenneth Walker's the Heisman Trophy winner. It's not even close. Who's going to win it? And if you say somebody from Alabama,
no. Even when the initial rankings came out and they had the kid from Oklahoma leading and then my guy right behind him, I did not have faith in that. The
kid from Oklahoma?
Originally, Spencer, the kid who was supposed to win it.
Rattler?
Sorry. Chris, he's on the bench. He hasn't played a snap in like 2 games.
When the season started, is what I said. He was the original one because they had him and then my guy going like right behind him. None of them will win it. I don't think Michigan State's guy is going to win it. Like, there's going to be a quarterback who probably shouldn't win this shit in the first place is going to win this award. Like, I would love for Michigan State's guy to win it. I would prefer for Jordan Davis to win it. But neither one of them will win this award. Like, it'll be some dark horse ass quarterback because Wake Forest quarterback isn't terrible. Pitt's quarterback isn't terrible. It will be.
If there's a quarterback that's going to win, it'll be Ohio State's.
Okay.
And I'm not against that. That's the thing about it.
Days, how many more games?
Because
How many more games does Michigan State have left?
We got 4. So we got 4 left. We got Purdue. We got Purdue, Maryland, Penn State, and Ohio State. We play Ohio State and Penn State back to back.
Hey, do you remember the year Mark Ingram won the Heisman, Turner?
He shouldn't have, yeah.
He had marquee games in those last several weeks. So if Walker shows up and shows out in those last, he can even have they'll load the box, so he may get a respectable 80, 90 this game.
He needs a
Maryland, he may get 100. But if he goes off against Ohio State and Penn State, you might as well, sign Stevie Wonder, sign, still delivered. I'm yours, baby.
Was Mark Ingram the best player in the country that year?
No.
Was he the best player on the best team in the country that year?
Yes.
Here's the reason why, and I hate, you think I'm enjoying having to give Bays a Heisman? I'm not enjoying this. This is not joyful for me, okay? This is factual. And what did I say on the last show? What free throw percentage do I shoot on this show about things I say, Chris Turner? Tell them. My free throw percentage is Michael Jordan's free throw percentage, about 84%, which means I miss 1.2 free throws. Kenneth Walker is leading the nation in rushing. He's not just leading his team in rushing. He's leading the nation in rushing. And when you lead the nation in rushing and there's no true quarterback to challenge that, every single one of those players that led the nation in rushing and were on great teams have all won Heismans. Go back and look. The only guy in our time that's been robbed of a Heisman, and not necessarily robbed, but just was a better guy, was Adrian Peterson in our time. AP finished second, led the nation in rushing, but I think he lost to Matt Leinart, and Matt Leinart won the whole thing, and Matt Leinart went nuts. So I'm just listening.
Larry Johnson, I forgot about him, and that's our college. Larry Johnson led the nation in running and rushing,
and didn't win the Heisman because they weren't the number one team in the country. That's the point. I remember those Penn State teams. They were very good. They played in Orange Bowls. They were really good teams. But there was somebody that had equal or better stats on the top team, and that guy won the Heisman. You go look, what year did you look at Larry Johnson? What year was that?
2002, our freshman year. Well, my freshman year.
You know who won the Heisman that year? Carson Palmer.
Yeah, there was no beating that bastard.
And Brad Bates should have probably won the Heisman that year, but Carson Palmer beat the brakes off him in that game.
So I'm gonna give you this, and I'll give you this, and then I'll leave it alone.
Oh, I hate it. I can't stand it that Bates is actually might get everything he wants. His team back in the Final Four, a Heisman Trophy winner. This shit's driving me crazy. This is just as bad as you winning a championship. Bays, they only have to win the title, and Bays wins this year. It doesn't even matter because they weren't even expected to do any of this. If they win the Big Ten and they're in the Final Four, Bays has won the season. He's beaten all of us.
All you're saying is Bays needs to thank Nick Saban right now. If it wasn't for Saban breaking him in the first place, they wouldn't have the coach that they have right now.
Saban didn't break anybody. D'Antonio had a 10-win season following.
And then broken in half and became the decimated, disastrous, and white crack shoot.
The best coach in our history, one of the best coaches in our history. He was at the end of his rope, and he needed to stiff arm on the national. That was a year. I would say we had a 10-win season, maybe 2 years after that season. So factually, you're incorrect.
You want to thank Nick Saban?
Objectively, you're incorrect.
You want to thank Nick Saban for giving your hopes up, thinking you were going to actually repeat as champions this year? You might want to do that.
Well, I'll just be honest with you. It's bad that a 2-loss season for us is a down year. And that's a win for everybody else.
No, you can't do that. I'm not going to let you do that, Vince McMahon. You're not going to get to flip this to your liking. The way you talk, you're never supposed to lose a game. You don't get to do that. You don't get to flip the narrative. I'm not going to let you do it. What did I tell you? What did I tell you when LSU won that title? I told you it was over. And what did I tell you about your championship last year? Did you win it fair and square? Yeah, you did. But does it technically have an asterisk and start the show? Because there wasn't no fans in them stands when y'all went undefeated and beat the brakes off everybody. Wasn't no fans. As soon as fans showed up, you got beat by Texas A&M.
There was no fans in our stadium either, though, right?
Hey, Baines.
Nobody had fans, right?
This team got beat by your boy, Jimbo. Jimbo got it.
Nobody else had fans, right?
And now Kirby's gonna get your ass. I told you, the chink, LSU put a chink in that armor 2 years ago. They did. They did. And you won. Listen, that's one of the best teams I've ever seen. I would put Mac Jones's team versus any team in the history of college football, and that team has got a good chance of beating somebody. But you did it during Corona. You guys are Corona champions. Deal with it. Deal with it. It's over.
We beat a virus and the SEC. What else do you want us to do?
You didn't beat a virus. They just wasn't tested for that shit.
We beat a pandemic. We beat the SEC, and then we beat the roses of the Big Ten. So, like, what else do you expect us to do?
Mm-hmm. Don't make me get political on why y'all was able to survive all that stuff. I know who was at all them games last year. Don't make me political on here. Why Alabama was the only one that wasn't having any COVID problems like the rest of the country. Don't make me do it.
He made America great again.
Look here, man. You got Tommy Tuberville running the state. They got Tommy Tuberville going to be the president in 2024. Like, stop it. Stop playing. Stop playing. That's all I got to say. Baines, that's all I got to say about Alabama's COVID championship. They won fair and square. Don't get me wrong. Like, they beat everybody. They beat everybody's ass.
In the pandemic.
But I told him that LSU exposed that you can go other places and gang up and beat them guys. And now it's happening. I'm telling you. And now his guys got Mel Tucker. He's like, hey, Big Ten's mine. He's coming for it. Ryan Day, they put a chink in that armor.
Our biggest recruit.
It's easy to go play for that guy. Chris, I watched his interview. That guy didn't sound like a guy that was coached by Nick Saban. That dude was thanking the fans. He was humble as shit. And he's a big, strong-looking brother. It's real easy to go play for that guy. It's real easy to go play for that guy, Chris. It is. It is.
At the same time, the only person that I'm afraid of as far as recruiting goes and going into a living room has a G on his chest right now. Because Kirby Smart is the most practical, personable person I've ever met in my entire life. By far. Like, outside of Saint Bobby, rest in peace, Kirby Smart is the most personable coach I've ever met in my life. And as far as recruiting goes, that's who I'm really afraid of. Because he can go in the living room and say the same thing Nick says, nicer.
You need to be terrified about whoever's going to take this LSU job.
I'm more worried about the USC job.
You need to worry about LSU.
I'm not.
For you. Anton ain't got to worry about it. He's on the East. He ain't got to worry about nothing. It's him and Dan Mullen until the end of time.
Who? I said who?
See, Bays. See, this is why you can't give people nice things. They get nice things and they forget where they come from.
I don't, but Dan Mullen is not relevant to anybody. He's going to be jobless.
Well, let me ask you this, soon to be champion and have the best sports year, like really of your life. It will probably
go Braves, FYI. Go Braves.
It'll really never get any better than this for you. Can I ask you, who played?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. You still got that eyesore of the Atlanta Falcons. So yeah, that's got to sting a little bit.
That's okay. Y'all got the Detroit Lions in Michigan. So what? I mean, come on.
I'm from Philly. So.
Even worse.
Hey, you see how quick that thing, Dave, you see him? I was waiting for it. Hey, the 215-267 jumped out his body real quick.
I'm from Philly, son.
I'm from Philly.
Either way, same thing.
Listen, let me make my point, Anton, to where this is what I told you about yourself last night a little bit. But let me ask you a question that there's an answer to. Alabama played somebody in the SEC championship last year. Who was it?
Florida.
So how are you going to sit here and because you're having the season of seasons, this is your year, but you're going to bash a team and say ain't nobody worried about Florida when they beat the brakes off you just a year ago. A year
Okay.
is not that long.
Well, let's go back to the previous year before that, the year before that, the year before that. What happened?
Okay, I'll give you 19 and 18 because those were choke jobs they did versus Alabama. And then let's talk about all those years after that when it was basically Florida.
We talking about Florida and Dan Mullen.
Wait
we
a
ain't
minute.
talking about Florida and Steve Spurrier and Florida and all that.
So Dan Mullen gets there
Urban and yeah.
after Jim McElwain, another Saban guy.
I mean, who's worried about Will Muschamp anymore?
Walt, you know what this is? This is Saban's coaching tree. Bountiful.
I listen, man.
I hate you. I hate you and Nick Saban.
Forever on your side this year because you have the only thing that can end Thanos' reign. You have Captain Marvel. You understand what I'm saying? You got the Scarlet Witch. You have the team of Avengers that is going to defeat Thanos this year. But I need to liken you to remind you about how this shit works. Just because you've done it once, it's hard as hell to do it a lot of times. And that's where you got to give Chris Turner his guys credit at the end of the day. You can't sit here and shit on Dan Mullen after he just beat the shit out of you last year. And his entire offense, all them guys left early. Those guys were all underclassmen. Kadarius Toney, Kyle Pitts, Trask. Trask could have went, and they still would have been fine at quarterback. These guys were underclassmen. If them guys is back, we having a different conversation.
Don't think so.
Kyle Pitts is that good. And Kadarius is
listen,
showing how good he is.
Kentucky got that good. All these people we done played so far done got that good, but ain't nobody seen
Kentucky win the
like
East
this.
2 years ago, Bays. Didn't Benny
This
smell
defense
like
is better than Alabama's 2011 defense.
So that's all I'm saying, man. Like I like how Mike Bazemore is very composed. You know, it's been 6-7 years for him. You know, it's been a long road back. You know what I mean? Like he knows exactly where he's at. He's gonna get a Heisman Trophy winner. Chris Turner knows it's over because you guys are gonna beat the shit out of him. And I never thought he would be on this show that would get out of control and lose place. Like I want Georgia. Georgia's one of those programs you just love. There's nothing about you doesn't grow up. I think as a kid where you're like, man, I would love to go play with Georgia. I know both these dudes got recruited by Georgia and really thought about going to Georgia. I know that for a fact.
Georgia wanted me to play tight end.
Listen.
I was like, tight end?
Listen, I know what Georgia meant to black kids in the 90s, early 2000s. We loved Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Might have been outcast wearing all that shit. I don't know what it was. But I tell you right now, they actually got recruited by them because they top 100 guys. If Georgia would have called me, man, I'd have been in Athens quick. Where you going, Georgia? Why? Because they said they wanted me. It's a wrap. Y'all don't have to say nothing else to me. I'm going to play for Mark Richt.
Before we get to give me a minute, I just want to point out that I had a very good time on my Georgia recruiting visit. I just want to.
I bet you did. I'm sure Bays did too. I ain't gonna do them like that.
Really?
Nah, I didn't visit Georgia. Once they said tight end, I was out. I was like, tight end? Like, nah, I'm really about this defensive linebacker life.
Hey, hold up though. Hindsight,
Like Ray Lewis say, I'm trying to take souls.
hey, hindsight's 2020 though. What do you think now about playing a little tight end H back? Get that money.
Well, had I been a more experienced individual in the process, then yeah, I don't know. I would have. I don't know what. I had a lot of good options on the table, so I don't know.
Well, I will say this, man. I know everybody's got stuff to do, but I do want to wrap with this. This is exciting as it gets me as a fan.
Yeah.
I love that all three of you guys have got a legit horse in this race. And to me, it's going to be fun to watch Chris.
Georgia, hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm looking at Georgia's record. Georgia does not play a team over 500 in their last 4 games.
It's like Georgia.
This is about a bullshit.
Georgia is in, period. If they lose the SEC championship, they in. Like, Georgia's good.
How many top-ranked teams have we beat?
Let's see how many top-ranked teams. You got Clemson.
I'll give you Clemson at the beginning of the year.
You got Arkansas,
Kentucky.
Kentucky. They are top.
They were undefeated when they came to see us.
I mean,
That's true. That's true. You got Auburn.
Auburn was ranked. They beat the shit out of them. That was the game where I said, okay, can't nobody beat this team. Because Bays, they're doing it with their backup quarterback. Like, it's amazing. Like, he's not giving games away. He's a part of why they're winning with his legs. Old Stetson.
But let's admit, like a lot of SEC teams, there's a lot of garbage on these schedules.
That's okay. That garbage preps us for when y'all's garbage comes down and we know how to handle garbage then.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn my video off while Bays is going taking shots at SEC schedule. Hold on for 1 second. Let me turn it off real quick.
A lot of garbage. Vanderbilt, garbage.
Indiana,
Garbage.
garbage.
I'm just gonna put that. I don't know. Is that picture of me and my wife showing on the beach there? I'm just gonna leave that there while Bays is talking about schedules. I'm just gonna leave that there.
Like, one of these days, we're gonna have a serious conversation about the filth of the SEC, the bottom feeders, the catfish. Come on, man. Let's just be real.
You have 4 teams that can literally lose in the Sun Belt Conference weekly. 4.
So do you. So do you.
I got 2. I got Vandy.
Name those 2.
Vandy and South Carolina.
Tennessee, they're known to give you a loss.
Missouri.
Tennessee, they're easily chokeable.
Missouri was so bad, I forgot they were even
Missouri, yes.
I forgot
Arkansas,
about
this year was an outlier for Arkansas. Like, stop playing. Darren McFadden ain't playing there every year. And Felix Jones. I love Dre, but even Dre knows that. Stop it. Stop it right now.
So we have
Kentucky, this is the first year. Yeah, Kentucky just got decent in football.
Yeah,
like, come on now.
Stop that bullshit as well. Not to mention you're adding Texas and Oklahoma into the conference. There's another 2.
That's 2 top teams from another conference.
That could lose in the Sun Belt, because you know what? I've seen them lose I've seen them lose out of conference quite a bit. I've seen SMU come in there when Houston had their run. They would beat breaks off them. Greg Ward was there just beating everybody ass. Ed Oliver, stop it. Y'all conference ain't no different from nobody else. You got Rudy Poos, and you got it is what it is. This year, Northwestern's a part of the Rudy Poos. My team's in that class, right there with Illinois and Rutgers and Maryland.
Missouri, the Big Ten.
Missouri, I'm glad Missouri ain't in the Big Ten. We don't want them. That's just personal. I just, hey, I went to say, listen, like, all respect, like, shout out to like the Brad Smiths, went there. But my guys know, everybody knows how I feel. I mean, Bays lived there. They were an hour north of us, and the fact that I never even partied there, I guess that was just my fault. I should have faked like I was on the team.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is this, America. This is going to be a very interesting podcast season for college football. When you got 3 of our guys in the hunt, we got 1 team that's in already. We've got Bays' team. It's really up to them. Because even if y'all lose, like the way it's set up, Michigan is good enough. This could be the year.
I would say if we have a slip up, as long as we beat
you can't lose to
Ohio
Penn State. You can't lose to Penn State is the thing. You got to beat Penn State.
No, we have to beat one of the 2. We can't lose the both.
If your slip up happens, it's got to be Ohio State. The only reason why is You'll get
we gotta beat Ohio State because we have to have the head to head against them.
yeah.
Penn State has already lost several conference games, so we can afford one slip up, be it Purdue, Maryland, or Penn State. We got to beat Ohio State, and we got to beat the champion of. We got to win the Big Ten champion to get in, and that's going to be for everybody. Ohio State doesn't have any room for error. They got to win out. Michigan got to win out. They want to get in.
So I mean,
everybody has to win out, with the exception of us. We can afford maybe one loss, but that's it.
Hey, I know I gotta cut you off because I know Anton gotta go. I'm just gonna get in the mic. Give me a minute, real quick. So
hey,
America,
Bates, check these sound effects for "Give Me a Minute." You gonna love this shit. Go ahead, Chris.
America, allow me to bless you with this. Give me a minute. I sincerely appreciate that the three of us can have this conversation about football and speak so eloquently and have just a genuine conversation about the game. But when the host of this show, the co-host of this show, takes over the conversation and tries to lead and take shots at everybody's team, when he went to Truman State. Now, I had this loaded a couple weeks ago after Alabama took that loss to A&M. They've been to the playoffs twice. Twice. I had to go look this shit up. They went to the playoffs twice. We have more playoff wins than Truman State has wins in their damn history. I love this man to death, but he takes another unsolicited shot at Alabama. I swear to God, I am shooting any African-American male in San Jose, California, as soon as I get a chance. America has been my... Jesus Christ. Sorry, I got a little emotional. Anton, I know you got to go, so you got to go next. If you got anything you put out there, you know how to start it off.
All right. I ain't even going to need a whole minute, America. I got a few words, and then I'm out of here. Number one, Braves won the World Series. That's it. And number two, go down. State is still Notre Dame, all revamped.
All right, who up next?
I'll go. I will retort. We are not Notre Dame. We have never been Notre Dame. It's good to see that the real is back in college football. Tuck is coming. We have a very formidable team, and we just waiting. You know, we're patiently waiting to show everybody, you know, what hard work, you know, does in today's society. And so we got 4 weeks left to show and prove. We're gonna keep doing that. You know, as Spartan dogs do, all we want to do is show up, keep chopping, and when the dust is settled, all you're gonna see is them dogs, the Spartan dogs, the true dogs, Spartan dogs. America, that's been my minute.
Well, America, I think you know where this is going. So let me take a nice big gulp. America, give me a minute. Here's the beauty of what my co-host said. Through the history of this show, I have made it painstakingly clear who I am and where I come from. I have purposely beat my own ass on this show. I have said I'm a guy that played his junior and senior year and had multiple 9-game losing streaks to close out my season. That's a fact. Am I proud of those facts? Absolutely not. Who wants to lose 18 out of 22 games? Nobody wants to do that. But do I own it? Yes. Do I take shots at Alabama? I actually don't take shots. Here's the beauty about when you go to a school that has a couple of career wins. And on top of that, even better than that, really hasn't been football relevant in Division II until recently when they switched conferences. The ability to sit and analyze things. And if I've said it once, I've said it again. The reason why I'm allowed to say the things I can to Chris Turner about his alma mater is that as he was this great top 100 player and had this phenomenal college career, by the time he looked up at 28, and when I was 28, and this is when we were becoming very good friends, I was better. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, play the Mario song for you, because shame on you. Shame on you that this show actually exists. This is your fault. These shots at you are all your fault. I didn't do anything. All I did that day is I was finishing a natty ice and I was walking downtown. And I said, hey, Chris, I'm going out. Do you want to roll with me? And he said, nah, you crazy ass black dude. Take your ass on somewhere. That's on you. I'm sorry I engaged you. And I'm a kind fellow. I learned those things at Truman State. Bays has been there. He's seen it. We had no choice but to make friends. What were you going to do at Truman State, Chris? So, yes. Did I lose 18 out of 22 games my junior and senior year? Yes. And I actually take the blame for that because I was the only 5-year guy that played those 2 years. But do I still have records in my school? Yep. Am I one of the greatest to ever come out of my school athletically? Yep. Am I one of the greatest receivers you've ever played with everywhere? He takes shots at me. I don't like to be boastful when I'm this sober, but he came at me. But I was. It is going to be a hell of a race between these 1, 2, and 3 seeds. They have earned it. Well, 2 of them have earned it. The 1 and 3 seeds have earned it. The 2 seeds got a few more wins to do. It needs to take it. Then they can rightfully have that 2 spot. They win the West. And then we're going to have what we want to have. This conversation between you guys here at the bottom of my screen, Georgia versus Alabama. If we don't see that, Chris Turner has to give me a year of just saying I'm right. That's what you're upset about, Chris. I told you how this year was going to go. How could a guy that played for that organization that has only got 2 playoff wins be this right all the goddamn time? That's all this America is. And I'm not going to end on some buzzards while I'm talking. Beware the dogs. They are the number 1 seed. Number 2, word. The fact that we are number 3 behind those guys, and most importantly, America, the Bulls are competitive again. It's got to count for something. America, that's been my minute.
So, America, with all that being said, we all chopped up and slopped up right now, baby. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, Instagram. Chopped up and not slopped up, baby. But the same question I ask you tonight, Walt, is the same question I ask you all the time. And that question is?
What's good, America?
What's good, America?